Welcome back to Motivation Monday. This is episode number 44. It's okay to be wrong and change your mind. Last week I was talking about the concept of beginner's mind, and Kurt Greening commented on my video that there are some similar concepts in a book that he wanted to read called Think Again by Adam Grant. Well, Kurt, thank you very much for that motivation, because I did start reading it and I'm about halfway through. Fantastic book, and it's new enough that it actually mentions COVID. So it's all about, challenging your beliefs and trying to rethink what we already know, because, we might be blindly obedient to what we already think is true. So serendipitous that I would have started it last week, because this past weekend I ran my first ultra of 2021, the Seneca Creek Greenway 50K, and I was trying to recover from a disastrous end of the 2020 season where a belief that I'd held for the past 13 or 14 years finally caught up with me, and I DNF'd. That did not finish my attempt for number 12 on the Hellgate 100K in December. You see, I had always thought that when I was getting all swollen and puffy, it's because I had too much salt. Yes, that is a possibility, but that's the rare case. That's not the normal case. Normally, when you're getting all swelled and puffy like that, it's because you're experiencing water poisoning. And just, long story short, it got so bad that around mile 45, I got a 45-mile fun run out of it. But mile 45, my ears were ringing extremely loud. I was huge, bad, terrible cramps. And I started vision going out, blacking out, falling. I couldn't stand. I was dizzy and had to sit down, and I couldn't recover. I tried to get back up, tough it out, but I was just a hazard and a danger to myself. And water poisoning is serious business. That's when you sweat out too much of your salts, your electrolytes, and you haven't replaced it. And it can actually lead to death. And so I feel like I got away, really lucky and lightly from the experience. It's happened to me multiple times, but I've always treated it incorrectly. But now I have learned, and I was able to correct that. So when I started to experience a little puffiness, I was hitting those salt tabs right away and corrected the issue, which felt really good. But there are so many situations where, we've held on to beliefs for very long and we've never challenged it. We've seen the new data, but we've just ignored it because of confirmation bias. We're only looking for things that already go with what we know. But, it was interesting in the book, Think Again, where he described two cases I'll bring up quickly, where a person who wrote a book on gullibility actually got suckered into a pyramid scheme, the Bernie Madoff scheme, and lost a bunch of money. And then Steve Jobs, interestingly enough, when he had the iPod, he didn't want to create an iPhone. He didn't want to merge a phone. In fact, he had written all these posts, apparently, that, he didn't want to create a phone and that was evil and bad. But the people were able to convince him, and he changed his mind. So that's what we're talking about, that flexibility to challenge what you already know, to learn those lessons, and adapt to do something new. So that is the motivation of this week. I know it can be very difficult to give up on all that sunk cost, all that bias into what we already know, but it is possible. And when you do, when you discover those things, it'll be a wonderful surprise of learning, and you will be that much better for it. All right, so that is the challenge. It's okay to be wrong and change your mind. Until next time, I hope you all will continue to stay kind, be strong, and keep moving forward.